This is Apache Ramos. You see me in the Warriors, and you're listening to Honorary Orphans at the Film by Podcast. 45 years. We do it like this. Rain on them Warriors, baby. Rain on them.
We've been discussing some amazing women in filmmaking all month long. Today, we're talking about a film by 4 female directors, the 2017 horror anthology XX, and filmmaker Cindy Sanabria is with us.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Cindy.
Cindy,
Pleasure.
It is our pleasure to have you. I don't know if you caught that opening. That was our good friend, our mutual good friend, Apache Ramos. And I love the fact that we talked to him a lot. Dave actually talked to him a lot on his episode for the Warriors. And he just could not stop talking about this lovely filmmaker, Cindy Sanabria, the Latina queen of gore, is how he referenced you. Can you tell us quickly? Can you tell us quickly, like, how did you guys meet?
I met Apache Ramos a few years ago on a zombie horror movie set where I was commissioned to shoot the film, and we got along really good. And afterwards, we stood in touch for years. And I was like, Apache, I'm gonna get back into filmmaking, because I was like at that time I was just doing like horror tour guide stuff. I was a horror host on the horror tour guide. So I was like, as soon as I get back into it, and he's like, yeah, anytime. And then lo and behold, the opportunity arose, and we've been making magic ever since. Movie magic, that is.
That's right.
Horror movie magic.
Well, Apache just could not stop talking about you. So clearly we're like, we got to get Cindy in here and get her in the studio and talk to her during a podcast because she sounds fantastic.
That's my brother from another mother.
He was wonderful to talk to, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. So Cindy, a question for you is, what excites you about filmmaking?
Wow. My question to you is, what doesn't?
That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, I love, primarily I consider myself a horror filmmaker. That's my genre. I mean, I have worked on other films outside of that genre, but I primarily always tend to gravitate back to it. I love it's just so cathartic, it's very, it could be very emotional for me. So I'm very engaged in it. It's just to see something that you created out of your mind and it manifesting into something real, bringing it to life, breathing life into characters. And it's just an exciting process. Then working with people that you're blessed to work with, where you can, see them thrive and see how their career, continues after whatever productions that they're a part of. Just the whole writing process. I mean, there's a love for every little aspect of the film, in my opinion.
That's good.
I just love it.
Yeah, there's you hit a key there. I direct a little bit too, and when you write something and you get to see it come to life on screen, you cannot describe that to somebody who doesn't understand of what that feels like. You can't, So I completely understand what you're talking about there for sure. Any directors or producers, writers, maybe who inspired you?
Well, being a Latina, we have very limited people that represent us in the horror community or just in the industry in general. But I would have to say that in general, like Robert Rodriguez was one of my big ones that I really like. I love Guillermo del Toro because he's like me, he kind of started as a special effects makeup artist.
Yep.
And I just love how he's how he's so well versed, like he's like his whole process of filmmaking. It to me is just a deeper process. It's, it's like he makes the film before he makes the film. So, because I have like his journals and stuff like that. I study Guillermo. And I mean, I love Francis Ford Coppola. Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of my favorite films.
Beautiful film.
Yes,
I love
Isa.
that. I love that score on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, yes. So, I would have to say that those would probably be my top film directors.
Horror obviously is a huge element in your filmmaking. Clearly, when we're looking at you, we see what's behind you with your love of horror. It started for me as a little kid too. I just fell in love with the horror genre, and is that what it did for you too? Have you always enjoyed horror?
To be quite honest, I didn't always enjoy horror. I was actually traumatized by my dad. He enjoyed
Oh,
horror. May his soul rest in peace. But he's the one that initiated, I guess, the presence of horror in my life. He introduced it to me, in a very traumatizing way, I might add. So, like Poltergeist, The Exorcist, those were like all my hardcore, my first impression,
mhm.
my first introductions to horror. So being like maybe, 5, 6 years old, you don't really want to watch that kind of
Right.
stuff when you're a kid. So yeah. And then I have a really I was born and raised in Harlem. So I have a very interesting first movie theater experience. The very first time I watched the American Werewolf in London, there was a shootout in a movie theater. And
Oh,
and nobody left. My father just shoved my head in between my legs like an ostrich, told everybody to duck down. We heard some commotion in the back. No one left the theater. Then
oh my
everybody,
gosh.
oh, is a gun? Did they stop? Yeah, they took him out already. All
Oh
right, now
my
I'm back to
gosh.
watching the movie. Nobody left. It was a very odd experience. Oh, a day in the life of Harlem. In Harlem.
Talk
Can I
about an
go back a little? I'm sorry. There's something that I wanted to add when you asked me who was my favorite directors.
Sure.
Sure.
Um, Aside from American directors, I am a huge foreign movie horror fan, and I have to give my props to Takashi Miike. He is absolutely one of the best directors out there, in my opinion. A lot of American filmmakers have remade some of his stuff, like Old Boy,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, and I'm a super huge fan. So Japanese horror, Korean horror, Chan-wook Park. I have to give these guys shout outs because they are maestros in their craft.
Absolutely, they are. And I tell you, when we bring it over here and Americanize it, it just loses something.
It does.
Yes.
It
I,
does.
I I I saw a lot of the foreign films and I love them so much. And then when I see it get remade over, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going to go. And I'm
Right.
right every single time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All respect to Spike Lee, because we covered Old Boy a couple seasons ago, and I love his remake, but it's not the original, and
Mm-mm.
it's not as
I
good as
agree.
the original. And I've always told people, like, yeah, check out Josh Brolin, and he's awesome, but you need to see the original if you
Yep.
really want to see the movie. And everyone you just mentioned, we've talked about them. We love those filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Uh, Dave, uh, we got to talk about XX,
We
because
do.
you and I, we were excited to cover this one. This is we love anthology horror.
Mm-hmm.
This is four female directors,
Yep.
and this movie definitely has a lot to say. But I gotta think, like, some people probably they might not be familiar with this one. Can you
Right.
give us a little synopsis for those that haven't seen it yet?
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to. XX is a collection of 4 short films directed by the talented female directors Jovanka Volkovic, Annie Clark, Roxanne Benjamin, and Karen Kusama. In this anthology, we watch a family slowly fall apart from starvation when their youngest sees something in a box that truly disturbs them. We see a birthday party like no other when somebody suddenly dies and the homeowner does her best to keep it a secret. We then see a group of 4 out camping where they shouldn't be, causing an ancient creature to come out of hiding and seek vengeance on those trotting around. And lastly, we see a mother doing everything she can to protect her son from whom he actually is and allowing his famous father and others to take him away.
Dave, thank you very much for that. You and I have been big fans of horror anthologies.
Oh, yeah.
Tales from the Dark Side, Creep Show, the Black Mirror series.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm just wondering, and I think we know the answer, Dave. Just seeing the setup behind Cindy.
Yep.
Cindy, when we talk about horror anthologies, do you have a go-to anthology? Do you have one that's your favorite?
Gee, I wonder what gave it away. Well, Creepshow would be one.
Creep Show, yeah.
I'm a huge Karen Black fan. I love
Oh
Trilogy
my God, yes.
Era, guys. You
Yeah.
know, that's a great one. There's a believe it or not, the Roman Polanski, the Rosemary's Baby, the
Mhm.
Tenant, that's part of a trilogy too. It's an apartment trilogy.
Yep.
Which is kind of sort of like an anthology, but not really. Okay, let's get out of that bracket. But yeah, I would have to say Creep Show, definitely Karen Black, Trilogy of Terror, some of my favorite anthologies. And I like all of like the Creep Shows and all of the Tales from the Dark Sides and all of the Twilight Zones and my like
There's so many good ones, and you're
yeah,
naming them
there's
all.
one in the future coming from me as well. It's
Yeah.
gonna cost
Oh,
at least 7. Yes.
oh, nice. Because that's actually a
All
question I
right.
was going to have for you. If you were to work on an anthology, any directors that you would love to work with?
Wow, yes. Some that I've mentioned. I would actually like to work with some female directors because now they're popping up.
Hmm.
So uh the Nia DaCosta is one person that I would like to work with. For those that don't know, she was the director of the recent Candyman.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, Gloria Gifford. Um, oh well, Gloria Gifford is actually more of an actress producer, but like uh, Lemons, I don't want to say Casey Lemons is her name. She was the writer of the original Candyman,
Okay.
and
Okay.
she was also the I believe she wrote Eve's Bayou as well. Which is like a kind of like a southern kind of voodoo type horror. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it.
Okay.
So yeah, I would. Those are some women that I feel like they've really earned their place in this industry, and I feel like they're a little like underrated, or
Hmm.
they could use the accolades.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Well, I know we got a lot to talk about. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have more with Cindy Sanabria and the horror anthology XX. And we are back. We're talking with Cindy Sanabria. Dave, there is surprisingly little to dig up on this film.
I
What
know.
can you tell us?
Yeah, there is. Surprisingly, there is. I mean, I didn't know much about this film until I started digging into it and how much I love this anyway. But the title of the film, XX, is actually in reference to the chromosomes that determine the genetic makeup for a woman, which is basically in reference to the female dominant crew that did these short films. This is also the directorial debut of Jovanka Volkovic and musician and songwriter Saint Vincent, who goes by the birth name Annie Clark for this film. And according to an interview for these directors, they basically utilize this film to basically give female directors an opportunity, especially in the horror genre. So I just think all of that is just fantastic, especially when you're trying to give somebody an opportunity to make something like this. I think that was a great idea.
You saying that, Dave, I got to ask, actually, I got to ask Cindy. I think this would be a great time to talk a little bit about women of color in horror. Cindy,
Yeah.
Cindy, what can you tell us about that?
Well, women of color in horror actually was in general a grassroots a thing that I started up for to represent women of color within the horror genre and subgenres. So everything from sci-fi, true crime, anything that falls within the horror genre, even fantasy. Um, so I did that because there's lack of representation or lack of awareness. There's a lot of females of color in the industry that's worked on a lot of films, but they go unheard, they don't receive the proper accolades. There's also women that are trying to make it or looking for opportunities on how, exclusively for women of color. And some of them don't have the proper resources. So women of color in horror is it's kind of like an all-encompassing, like I try to promote up and coming, people. I also promote people that have already have tenure in the industry, but just are like not really known or popular enough, celebrate them. Whenever I get any kind of opportunities that I come across exclusively for women of color, or even just in general, so they could take advantage of it as well. I'll post that in the groups as well. And hopefully, I would hope to one day make it some kind of a nonprofit organization where we can move forward in the future and start getting women, employed, and have them, be in a position where I can produce original works from, creative women of color from all over. It's just trying to push those stories and promote those stories, because I feel like no one can tell your story better than you,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And I feel like there's a lot that the genre and just the industry in general, fans all over the place are missing out because these stories are untold. And I mean, there's just so many. I feel like once they open up those floodgates, I feel like it's going to transform horror in a beautiful way.
Yep. I couldn't
Because
agree
love-
more with that.
I love
right.
that we're talking about, the beauty of horror and what she's saying. That's fantastic. And Cindy, I think it's an
Oxymoron.
amazing thing that you're doing.
Yeah, that is.
I really, we can't thank you enough.
There's a lot of voices out there who need to be heard, and to have somebody like you to give them that avenue to do it, that is incredible, Cindy. Well done.
Thank you so much. I hope to be in a position that I could do so much more. I feel like where I'm at, I'm still not where I want to be. Um, but I'm working on getting there. And along the way, I'm trying to help as many people as possible. And when I tell you all the hidden talent that's out there, well, when we get into it, I'll definitely because Merciless Christmas is about a 95% diverse film.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. And we are definitely going to talk about Merciless Christmas. But before we do, Dave, let's talk about these segments for this anthology. Let's start off with the box.
The family was on the subway, the mother, her daughter, and her son, and they were sitting there, and the guy next to them had like a present with him. And the son basically wanted to see what was in the box. So the guy shows it to him. We don't see what's in there, obviously, which I still don't know what's in there. But it turns him into starving. He doesn't want to eat anymore.
Mm.
And then he goes and tells his
Little
sister
sister. Yeah.
something about it. So she starts starving. And then they tell the father what was in the box, apparently, which we still don't know. So the three of them end up starving, leaving the mother by herself. All of these were really, really good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many cool elements of this episode with the directing that I loved. One of them was how you always got the looking straight down at the table, and you get the different shots of the food that was sitting there, and you would get like the title card that would say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and but all the food would change. I just loved that. But clearly, Jovanka, who directed this episode, is a fan of Night of the Living Dead, because she had it showing up on,
That's
they're coming to
right.
get you, Barbara.
Uh-huh.
Loved it. I love when directors do that kind of stuff. They'll put stuff in there that they love, that they want to show off. I love that. And then I don't know if you caught this too, but Jenny, the daughter, was reading Hellboy when
Yep.
Danny was in the doctor's office.
Yeah. That's when that scene where it's Christmas morning and they're opening
Mhm.
presents and Romero's Dawn of the Night of the Living Dead is on. I was like, is that Christmas morning at Cindy Sanabria's house? Because like it's like what the family that wakes up on Christmas morning, like, hey, put on Night of the Living Dead. Let's have some fun. I was like,
Yeah,
these are my kind of people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Now this one's creepy. Just the fact that the kids won't eat, but they also won't talk about what's in the box.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see the mother go from like really unconcerned
Yeah. Like
to
crazy unconcerned.
yeah, she is very calm about the whole situation and until like all three of them starve to death, and then she's like, all right, now she's spending the rest of her life just riding the subway hoping to find this guy
Yeah.
to just find out what's in the box.
Yeah. And I want to call out whoever did the special effects for this, because the little boy, when they showed him malnourished, he looked incredible. He looked creepy on how his skin was like, you could see like his skeleton through his skin. They did a fantastic job with that.
Cindy, like in your experience, is this this is an independent film. Is this something where you can rely on CGI to get you through? Because this kid looked emaciated,
Yeah.
just almost ghoulish, or just old school makeup. Does it still do the trick for us?
Personally, I'm a fan more of practical effects than CGI.
Amen.
But I am also a fan of when the two technologies are combined, when the two processes are combined, I feel like it takes it to a different level. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of the combination and solely of practical effects, not so CGI, because I mean, this has nothing to do with with this anthology, but for example, I Am Legend, it didn't, the CGI was so fake that it
Yep.
didn't, it just, to me, it's like I could see it's fake. And then there was the other one on World War Z that
Mm-hmm.
I felt like could have been a little bit better, but the overcompensation of special effects for the zombies when they're coming, it just looks so fake.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have something like Train to Busan, where they incorporated kind of both, and you
Yes.
see the different. It just draws something differently. It's
Mm-hmm.
like when you still have that little bit of realism,
Mm-hmm.
you can put it out with CGI.
It's you hit it the nail on the head there. It's use CGI just a little bit. Use that practical effect, and if you need to glossen it up a little bit with CGI, okay,
Right.
that's fine. But CGI can really pull you out of the film. And you hit that right there, with I Am Legend. It really pulls you out of the film when you recognize immediately it's CGI.
Right.
I love the practical effects. I mean, it's my age too. I grew up with filmmakers who worked hard on their films with practical effects. And it works more for me. But then again, I mean, I'm not putting anyone down today who uses CGI at all. But I just love that practical effect.
Well, I'm a practical effects person. I do CG. I mean, I do special effects makeup from scratch. Like I work with prosthetics and silicone. I could tell you as a person firsthand. I mean, I'm no Tom Savini, but
Mm-hmm.
just someone working with these materials firsthand, you have to respect the craft, and you have to
Yes.
respect the, I mean, the creations that these people, and the work, the time that goes into it. It's really a work of art. It's like
Mm-hmm.
art within art.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it.
Dave,
So
let's move on. Let's talk about the second segment, which it's more black comedy
Yeah.
than horror, honestly. The birthday party.
I think Annie Clark kind of did that one on purpose because she's not a huge fan of horror, so she kind of turned this into a black comedy, is what she did. Melanie Leninsky, which I find from Two and a Half Men fame.
Yeah,
I'm sure a
yeah,
lot of people would know her from that. And if I remember correctly, I think she was just in The Last of Us on HBO.
she
If I
was.
remember, yes, love
Mhm.
her work, love her work. So it was nice and pleasant surprise to see her pop up in this. Very unique film. I guess it was her husband,
Yeah,
who I guess committed suicide by the looks of it. He drank something and it was in the drink.
yeah,
What I've taken out of it, and then she has to hide that because their daughter is having her birthday party.
yeah. So, Cindy, this one might be my favorite, actually, Dave. I'm jumping ahead by saying that, but we got this idea where it's this little girl's seventh birthday party.
Hmm.
Her mom is clearly overwhelmed, a little stressed, wondering where's my husband. And then we come to find that he's either overdosed on something, he drank something that he shouldn't have, whatever the case may be. We've got a corpse, and
mm,
At a birthday
rather
party.
than at a birthday party, yeah, the birthday party's about to start, and rather than ruin her little girl's birthday party, we get this crazy cat and mouse game where she continues to move the body from room to room so it's not discovered,
Yeah.
and hiding it, and like the well-to-do neighbors are all like, oh, well, where's your husband? And she's like, oh, he'll be here soon. And I, like the goofiest thing happens, like one of these singing telegram guys shows up in like a giant panda suit, and she's like, I'll give you like $1,000 for that suit, just get the hell out of here, give me the suit. And the guy's like, all right, cool. you know and she dresses up the her dead husband in this panda suit and just puts him in the chair at the birthday party. it's
Yep. All
it's
the kids
it's
around him.
weird. Yeah. Everything seems fine until he slumps over into the cake, and then they have to, I think the housekeeper kind of pushes him back, and then the head falls off, and then you see he is clearly dead.
Yeah.
And then every kid starts freaking out. Like, Cindy, what you're a talented filmmaker. Like, what kind of process is involved when you take something that's it's horror driven, but you want to have a good time. You want to make it funny. Like, where is it difficult to marry, to see the marriage between comedy and horror, do you think?
I feel like any effective horror or any horror movie should have a few elements of different emotions, and comedy is one that is. So, I mean, not the whole film, but there should be little elements sprinkled along the way. Unless you're, targeting a dark comedy specifically, and you're
Right.
making it like this outrageous comedy or these like insane moments. But I feel like the marriage of comedy, some elements sprinkled throughout the film, I think that serves as a key, because you can connect with your audience through laughter.
Hmm.
So I feel like if you incorporate just like maybe a funny moment or just like an awkward character, or even just something silly that he says, that a character may say out his mouth, then, creating some kind of like, realism, but comedy always gets people. There's a connection with comedy and
There is. Yeah. This film got me laughing at the end, Jeff, with the title cards.
The title cards, yeah.
It basically was the birthday party or the memory Lucy suppressed from her 7th birthday. That wasn't really her mom's fault, even though her therapist says it's probably why she fears intimacy.
Yeah. And I think the comedy in the title cards is that you get, because every one of these segments ends with the title. They do a title card,
Mhm.
and I love that you get the birthday party, and then it fades, and then you get what really happened, and then they just keep fading in and out with like over explaining what really is going on in this one.
So well done.
I love this one. Dave, we got to talk about the third one. This one, nothing to laugh at in
No.
the one called Don't Fall.
So I'm going to go ahead and let this one out of the box. This one is my favorite. I am a sucker for creature feature, especially one done so well like this one. I love that opening shot where you get the dialogue, but you see like the shadows of them, like on the rocks as they're talking. And then that very cool back shot to reveal the title. Man, this one was directed so well by Roxanne Benjamin. I love this one just with so much of my being. The score in this one was fantastic, especially when they were in the RV and the creature was, jumping on the RV or was trying to get in. And you had that score going on where they're like freaking out inside, trying to figure out a way to get out or what they were going to do. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. And so many good shots of the creature by being silhouetted. Or like when the last person who was alive, she falls down, thus don't fall. And the creature is like over top of her. And you get that silhouetted shot of it coming down towards her. Man, I love that shot.
I gotta call out the writing on this one because right at the get go, you see, okay, we've got four, we got four people, 2 guys, 2 girls. They're clearly not where they're supposed to be, and they're doing those cliched moves, like they're drinking, they're smoking some stuff, they're having a good time. So we know they're gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah.
The thing here though is that we spend some time with them and we get to care about them. You don't want to see them, I mean, if this is Friday the 13th, we are behind our guy Jason Voorhees, and we can't wait to see him slaughter everybody. But this is a situation where you care about these people. I was rooting for them. I knew they weren't going to survive, but that's what I'm thinking. Cindy, when we talk creature features, what do you got to go to creature feature as far as like, and you're a special effects expert too, so like we could talk like even like a suit or like a specific monster. Do you like what comes to mind for you?
I was thinking, well, I'm actually thinking about the combination of the question beforehand, which was the comedy aspect and the creature feature. I would say human. The one that sticks out of my head is humanoids from the deep.
Oh yes, I can't believe you've seen that. Okay, some of our listeners are going to get a kick out of this because they kind of connected with us, and I put that one out there. I said, you guys want to see something awesome? Watch Humanoids from the Deep. It's streaming on Prime. I got one person come back going, okay, I kind of dig this. And then the others were like, what did you just make me watch? Like, what's going on here?
It's so crazy. It's like that
Oh, it's
cheap.
so good though. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
got
like
that.
nostalgic for me, that kind of stuff.
Love humanoids from the deep. Thank you for. I feel vindicated, Cindy. Thank you very much for that.
Cindy
No, because
backing
I
you
was
up.
thinking when you were mentioning like the creatures and you were mentioning them by the water. So the first thing that popped in my head was humanoids from the deep. And I was
Yeah.
just like, that was actually a pretty funny one, by the water. And so, and I like stuff that like the Incredible Melting Man. I know he wasn't like, you know, I liked the makeup on that. I like that
Mhm.
drooling gelatin that he had, like that nonstop, like acid run of blood. It was really cool. See, I like stuff like that. And one of my favorite movies is Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So
Another great
good
film.
choice. Yeah,
right.
Yep.
you're talking about gelatin and the melting man. I'm Pretorius's makeup in From Beyond when he starts getting
Yeah.
into that.
Oh yes.
Poor
Yes.
Barbara Crampton. What are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna kiss you. And you're like, please don't do it.
Don't do this. Don't do it.
Don't do this.
Oh, I felt like that in Reanimator with the head.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
I'm like,
Ah, we I know we just recently got a chance to meet Barbara Crampton. She was at Horror Hound. That woman, it just let's give her one chance to really shine in a movie where she's not just preyed upon
Right.
the way we've seen it.
Yeah.
a little
I know
fighting
she has more. I know she has more to offer us than that. So
Yeah. And Jeff, just as we talked about with the makeup from the box, the creature effect, the
yeah,
special effects they did for this creature in Don't Fall,
Mhm.
man, was it incredible. She was scary.
Wow.
I'll say one other thing too, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but we get a good horror film is always going to have those jump scares,
Mm-hmm.
like, and some they're cliched to the point that we expect them. Like someone's in a bathroom mirror, they open the medicine cabinet, someone's going to be there behind them when they close the cabinet back.
Mhm.
I thought Don't Fall had a couple good jump scares that weren't even
Yes,
meant
they
to
did.
be scary. But the one character, she's got some issues being out there, and she's kind of the fraidy cat of the group. And I really liked how they did the jump scares
Mm-hmm.
unintentionally, I'll say.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. One where he goes off and then comes back.
Yeah.
That
Oh
I
yeah.
jumped out of my chair on that one. I was
Me
like, "You
too.
jerk, you got me."
Yeah. Let's move on to the last one, Dave, because
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I am just dying to talk about Cindy's movies.
Me too.
We got this last one called Her Only Living Son. I feel like we gotta mention the inspiration behind this one, because
Yep.
I watched the first time I saw this, I watched it, I was like, okay, this one was good, not
Mhm.
great. But then when I found out what the inspiration was and I
Made it
did a
better.
rewatch, I was like, holy cow, this one's awesome. So
Yep.
you wanna run down Her Only Living Son?
Yeah, so it's funny, Cindy, that you mentioned this movie earlier
She
today in the
did.
podcast. This is actually takes place after Rosemary's Baby,
Oh.
is
Yeah.
what this is about. So Andy and his mom Cora are basically, living together, and Cora, the mother, is protecting her son from who he is and who his father is. Clearly, we know who his father is if you know anything about Rosemary's Baby. And this is basically like a reimagining of those events. It takes place after that. So it's really cool story when you realize what they did. Like Jeff said, when you first watch it, it's like, this is an okay story. But then when you learn the history behind it of what they did, then you're like, oh, never mind. This is a really cool story.
Yeah, I think anyone that's a fan of Rosemary's Baby will definitely appreciate this one.
Mhm.
And very smart, very, very clever writing, very smart direction, because the breadcrumbs are there. If
Yeah.
I think someone that's an astute horror fan probably would have picked up on it and said, "Whoa, this is like Rosemary's Baby 18 years later. That's
Right.
what I'm watching." She mentions the husband, she mentions being on the run, and even like the school, like how
Mhm.
protected they are of this
Of him.
kid,
Right.
of him. Yeah, definitely a creepy one. And I wish, I have some questions about how it ended, and I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it. But the ending left me kind of scratching my head, and
Me
not in
too.
the same way that the box does.
Right.
Where you're wondering like, what is, you can kind of you can kind of give your own opinions on what is in the box or why the box does what it does.
Right.
But at the ending of this one, Hurling Living Sun, I was kind of like, what exactly happened here? Like,
Yeah.
why are we coming to an end here? So
Yep. I agree.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that a little bit more. But listeners, stay tuned because we're going to find out about the Latina queen of gore and what she has in store for us. We'll be right back.
All right, listeners, welcome back as we continue our discussion with Cindy. Cindy, I know you got a couple films that I believe are being released this year. The one I basically want to know is, what is Sam's Web about?
Sam's Web is actually in post-production, and should be done. Actually, it should be well within the film festivals by next month.
Okay,
We're
cool.
really at like the tail end of that film. Sam's Web is, oh, this one's a tough one. That was a very challenging film to make. Sam's Web is a true crime, my first true crime film, and it's about the most prolific serial killer in the United States, which just so happens to be a Black serial killer. Up to this point, this will be the first Black serial killer biopic ever made. There's never been a movie on a Black serial killer. And this guy has killed more than Ted Bundy, the Zodiac Killer, and John Wayne Gacy combined. He killed over 93 women, and there's still some women that haven't been found. There's over, I would say, about a good 30 women still out there whose bodies haven't been found. They just found, actually here in Florida, they just found someone about 6 months ago. So they're still finding bodies. He was killing, and he's also one of the oldest serial killers too. He killed for about a good 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, from like the late 70s was his first kill, and he killed all the way to 2005 was his last one.
So this
Goodness.
film's then it's heavily based off of
It
a
is
real guy.
This is
Whoa.
accurately based off of his conversations through, which is kind of weird for me because I'm a creator, so I like
Mhm.
to imagine things and certain things that make me feel uncomfortable, I'll try to veer away from that. This is kind of like a film that I was forced to having, to recreate these things. And it made me feel very uncomfortable. But the reason why I did it was because, it hit a soft spot with me. His victims, I mean, the reason why he didn't get caught for so long was, one, because he was a Black man, and two, because his victims were on the fringes of society. They were
Mm.
homeless, prostitutes, drug addicts, mostly
Oh.
women of color, but they were also white women as well. But they were like, women that were just discarded, that he thought that they didn't have family, people that weren't really loved at home. So, and it's very sad because somewhere like there was a disabled girl. That's what struck a chord with me. And
Oh,
if
wow.
I know that this is about like my future stuff, but last year I finished a documentary called Horror Able, and it was about creatives with disabilities in the horror industry. And I grew up in a disabled family. So I was the only able-bodied person in, my mom, my dad, and my sister all have different disabilities. So what I saw was normal, and looking from the outside and over the years, just seeing how my sister has been, abused or taken advantage of, it's really disturbing to see that somebody can be that heinous to target girls with mental disabilities, girls with IQs lower than 40. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really sad, and get away with it. So I just felt like I had to kind of step in, and also because there's still people that are, that still haven't been found. And if anything can help reopen some of these cases that have been cold, so some of these families can still have closure. I mean, he killed someone in 2005. I mean, so that's really my main motivation for it. And it's a two-part film. So this is the first part of the two-part film.
Okay.
So this is more of a kind of concept thing. I didn't raise money for it. I kind of used my own money and my own resources to make the film. So it is a low budget film, but the feature, I've been talking with a lot of people, a big special effects makeup artist. I won't mention his name, but there's a lot of people that are currently interested in the feature, the second part of this film, which is going to be called Less Than Dead. Sam's Web is the perspective of the killer, where the other one is going to be the perspective of the actual victims, kind of like what they did with the recent Dahmer series, where it was more reflective on the victims versus the killer. And that would be the second part of this film. So it's something that I personally don't really want to do. I feel like I just have to do it.
Mhm.
But it's taken me a long time to come up to write these scripts because it's nauseating, it's disturbing. I
Okay.
mean, I love horror, but the horrors of reality is, I'm not gonna lie, it got into my head so bad that I sometimes I started like, thinking this. I mean, I'm currently living in Florida, and I live in the home of the of the serial killers, and where Samuel Little started his kills, and he
Yikes.
Oh,
this was the second state that he killed the most women, and there's still 6 bodies that haven't been found here. So, kind of like, yeah, creepy.
Yeah, this sounds like you sound like Ethan Hawke in Sinister. Like you are way too close to the source material, I think.
Yeah,
And
no
now I'm
kidding.
worried. I'm worried for you.
Right, it gets bad, but I'm a big girl. I was born and raised in the projects in
That's
Harlem.
right. You can handle yourself. That's right. What I like about that fact is that you put yourself into doing a project that takes you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes that's not easy to do, and clearly you can hear in your voice that it was not easy to do for you. But sometimes that's when the best things can happen. Some of the experience that you had of having being around people with disabilities and stuff like that, you get to see that firsthand. So that makes you be able to write better characters
Mhm.
because you've experienced that part of your life, so you know what that's like, and you're able to put that into your scripts. And I think that is what is really, really important about creating those characters. And when you have those experiences, it makes it that much better.
Horror Able is a documentary, though. So actually, that was a learning experience for me because I learned of disabilities I never knew existed.
Hmm.
And it also put me in a different perspective as a filmmaker because I'm here advocating for women of color and
Right.
but I'm like, but people with disabilities are like, they're even lower in the totem pole. And then what if you're a woman of color that happens to be disabled? You
Right.
know, now you have an even bigger challenge. So it's opened my mind to wanting to work more with people with disabilities.
Hmm.
So I try to create, now I'm like being conscious of that. And now I'm also, because of this, and my perspective has changed when it's come to disability due to this documentary project, which is also a 2-part series. It's a short that's there's a third we have a 20-minute short on Bloodstained Films and YouTube that you can watch right now. That's the Horror Able Women. That's the shortened version. We had a couple of videos that weren't really that good in quality, so we kind of like made a quick short with that. But the Horror Able feature has William Crane, director of Blackula, is in it. Michael
Oh,
Berryman
okay.
is in it. From The Hills Have Eyes.
Hmm.
And this was the last interview of Albert Pion, which made Cyborg and
Mhm.
Captain America and stuff like that. So that was really, so that definitely will make you cry. That one will make you cry.
And you said this one is available, right? Like we can go to bloodstainedfilms.com and we can get access to that one now, right?
Yep, just go to
Okay.
watch now, and that will be the first thing you'll see is it's kind of take you to a page with some of our trailers to update you on like the upcoming films. But then we have Horror Able Women that we just released this month for International Women's Day, and
Hmm.
horror Women in Horror Month, because this is Women in Horror Month.
That's right.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Well, Dave, I can't wait anymore. We got to talk about what's on the horizon here.
Yep.
We've talked to Apache Ramos about his role. We've seen the trailer for the movie that's coming out there. Cindy, let's talk about Merciless Christmas.
Yes, please.
Merciless Christmas. I just
Yeah,
want
she's
to,
wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
I can't pull it off, but
No,
you
no.
can.
We'll have to say that for our paid subscription.
You pay extra for that.
Yeah, that'll be the video for Patreon. Don't worry.
That's the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's
The Horror Hound OnlyFans version.
That's right.
okay. Okay.
No,
No,
joke, guys, joke.
no. I gotta
Um,
tell you, just hearing Apache talk about the movie, and just he got so animated, he got so excited, and he's like, I can't tell you everything, but I'm gonna tell you this. I can't tell you. I told Dave, I was like, I don't care where we got to find this movie. Like we got to see it immediately. And then, you released the trailer. It looks fantastic. Tell us all about Merciless Christmas.
I'm really excited about Merciless Christmas for many reasons. So Merciless Christmas is a holiday horror. My reasoning behind, prompting me to do this was at the time when I originally decided on making this, it was called Black Santa at first. And this was years ago. I had announced it on a podcast. I'm like, there's a Black Santa and he's a serial killer and everything like that. But so I was writing the story. It didn't really get fleshed out like completely. It was, getting fleshed out throughout the years. But my reasoning behind that was because there wasn't any good Christmas horror at the time, or not that many. Violent Night actually came out later that year when I did that podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I actually like that one. And there's still a few that I have to admit that have been released since then that I enjoyed. So I mean, I had already started it and I'm like, well, I'm doing this. But what makes this one different from any holiday horror that has come out is that this is a Black lead. This is one of the rare Black slashers. I think he's one of the first that's not supernatural, because Candyman is.
Mhm.
Even though there's without spoilers, there is a supernatural element to the film that he's not a supernatural killer. So it's a very exciting film because it represents a neighborhood that's hardly even shown in cinema, period, and that's Harlem.
Mhm.
So this is also an urban horror. How Apache calls it, this is what he said, Hollywood. It's a
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what he called it. A Hollywood production. But we have Macho Camacho. He's a professional boxer.
Yeah, Hector Macho Camacho.
Macho Camacho is in it. Apache Ramos, as you know. Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist is in it.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
right.
Wow.
Isn't it kind of crazy that I was like so scared of her when I was little, and here I am working with her?
and now you're working with her. That has to be
So weird.
awesome.
And there's tons of people from like Law and Order. You'll see a lot of familiar faces in it if you watch these shows like Blue Bloods, Blacklist. We have a lot of musicians in it as well. So there's people from all kind of all walks of life coming together, and all kind of nationalities coming together, which really excites me because it's like Latin America, South America, like I have like almost every Latino on the project. And part of it's like you got, you got Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Colombians. I mean, like it goes. And I mean, they're all so very talented. And then, you have, it's basically what represents Harlem. It's Black and Hispanic community. And like I said, it's 95% diverse, and that was intentional because I wanted to have a film that was all inclusive, dealing with a strong theme, and just showing a different perspective on this holiday horror slasher thing. So where you're usually like, oh my goodness, the killer's coming, you actually want this man to do what he's doing, so you're going to be rooting for the killer.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
Story. This is a film, I'm going to tell you, this is a film that did have me laughing, that did have me crying at certain times. There's key moments in this film that's super emotional and super like poignant. And it also shows the perspective of Harlem through a person that lived in Harlem, that lived in the projects, so it's a story that I know people in the hood can definitely relate to, but just if you're a man in general, that has a family, this is kind of a revenge, it's also a revenge slasher film, and there's elements of Christmas. It's not like your typical Christmas film. So like, Christmas is always these snowy holidays and everything like that. But this Christmas, there won't be any snow, because this Christmas when I was filming, there wasn't any snow.
Oh, no.
So there's realism to the max, but I tie it into a why. So that's going to be like the morbid Christmas. And yeah, it's really exciting. We have a lot of realism. We have over 50 actors working on this project.
Wow.
We have great people that's a part of this film. Unfortunately, I won't mention, but I had lost so we've lost something in the process of trying to raise money. And that's the problem with independent creators like me. You know, not too many people support women of color in horror, and that's a big problem for me because I have what it takes to compete with a lot of these creators. I'm that confident. And
Yeah.
so Merciless Christmas, we kind of hit this like weird thing, which has never been done in my life before, where I didn't raise all the money, so I could only shoot. We raised half the funds, so I only shot half the film. And so now we need your help to finish the other half.
You're giving horror fans the opportunity to get involved, right? Can we talk
Yes.
about Indiegogo for a
Yes,
minute?
sir. We just released some new opportunities for Indiegogo where you can actually come on board as an associate producer. They're very limited, these numbers. There's like only like 2 or 3 slots left. So if you have an opportunity, you want to be a part of it, by all means grab it, because this is not a film that I intend to get from script to screen. I mean, to a television screen or streaming. We actually want to put this in the movie theaters. So
Oh, okay.
this is something that I'm pushing for really, really hard, to make happen. So, we have opportunities for you to act in a scene in the film as well. And there's a whole bunch of other different perks that you could take advantage of. But I would say if you can act in a film or if you could grab one of those associate producer perks, definitely do. This is not a film that's just going, straight to streaming like most of our films do. I'm really pushing hard to like have it compete and with the commercial films and really try to put it in the theaters, even if it's a limited run, but that's the goal.
All right. Listeners, we're gonna have a link in the show notes to the Indiegogo, so you can check out how you can get involved with Merciless Christmas. There's some awesome stuff, some opportunities that Cindy has provided. I know because I took one of them, and now I'm already thinking, if I could get if I get some screen time with Apache Ramos, I might be double dipping here. But
Right.
Actually, that acting role is with a scene with Apache Ramos. I probably should have noted that. Yeah.
Oh, now
So
yeah,
that
that's
one is we had a campaign before where we had a kill scene. You get killed in a movie,
Oh,
but
man.
but
yes.
even though you see the actors, you're not going the actors, I mean, the main actors weren't there during that
Yeah.
scene. But this scene in particular, he will be. We also have Jabari Gray that was like in Spider-Man 2. I think he was like a pilot. He's like all over. He's been on so many things, like the Blue Bloods, Blacklist. Like I said, he's
Okay.
a really key player in the industry as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, you'll have an opportunity to meet some great people. Come on board, let's go.
That sounds
All right.
fantastic, man.
Well,
Yeah,
Dave, I'm going to give you the opportunity because I know you've got several questions
I do.
that you've been waiting to ask Cindy. So I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Awesome. So, Cindy, I recognize at a very young age that I loved the world of filmmaking and the process behind it all, but I didn't have the technology and equipment that everyone has at their fingertips today. I wish I had, because I would probably have a lot of projects done when I was a kid. When did you recognize your love of storytelling behind the camera?
Oh, I'm gonna take you way back. So I started writing poetry at 6 years old, and I wrote my first horror film when I was in 7th grade. It was, and actually I could send it to you. It's so bad, guys. But it was about it was Bloody Mary. It was
Okay.
Bloody Mary. And I was in 7th grade. We made like, these prosthetics, like the body parts out of like paper mache. So it looks like real cool.
Nice.
And it was a school project, but we won. I mean, the teacher went and won a lot of awards with this video that we made. It was a video program that we were a part of. And that's when my love started.
Nice.
And then I just continued from there and blossomed. I went to the School of Visual Arts, and took a class in special effects makeup with the great Carl Pasolini. He made a Celebrity Deathmatch. If you
Okay.
Oh, I love
I do
that
remember
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was taught by him how to make like prosthetics and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just kind of been, I've been in this industry for a really long time. Just people just don't know me.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
getting you.
we need to
Yes,
get that changed. We
yes,
need to get that changed.
yes,
Yes,
please.
absolutely. Um, when you get an idea and you want to put it in motion, what steps do your process takes?
It usually starts with writing.
Mhm.
I am a very like I'm a very tangible person. I mean, I like that whole organic process. I'm not the type to just run to a computer and start typing.
Yeah.
I write. So I do a lot of bullet points and I'll write paragraphs, sometimes little dialogue, and then I put it all together in a script. And that's kind of how it starts from there.
Nice. I know sometimes you can get an idea and it just goes crazy with you and you just can't stop working
Right.
on it. Jeff is a witness to me. I had an idea last October and I mentioned it to him on the way back from a convention and I had it written in like 3 days. And I sent it to him. I
Wow.
said, "Hey, here it is." And we're trying to get it to go into production this year, but a few things fell apart. Just as you mentioned, it's that whole financing thing, and sometimes you have to push off a little bit to get those things made. But I understand what you're talking about. You get that crazy idea and you just roll with it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, being a creator myself, I love to hear other creators and how they do their thing. So, when you are working on a film, do you storyboard? Do you do a shot list, or you just come up with stuff when you're on the set?
Okay, so you're gonna laugh at this. I don't really storyboard because I can't draw for shit. I'm
Me
sorry.
either. No, no, you're fine.
You're good. You're good.
I mean, I've had people laugh at like I can't even draw stick figures. It's that bad. But so I'm not someone that tends to do storyboards unless I like super have to. And the last time I remember doing that was in college. I really
Mhm.
don't like storyboarding, but I do shot lists, shooting schedules because I have to,
Right.
if I could get around that, like sometimes with shorts, I won't do that, but for features, they're necessary
Right.
just to keep things organized. Um, and that's and that's pretty much my process in terms of, I like I said, I can't draw for crap.
Hmm.
The shot list and the shooting schedules, it becomes very tedious when you have to do all that. So sometimes it's just like, oh, mercy me, like
Yeah.
it's usually the last thing I do. I'm a little last minute when it comes to that, but I always get it done when it
It's
right.
it, it's
Usually right
such a
before we have
pain.
to shoot.
It's such a pain. It can be. I completely understand what you're talking about. It's just like I don't want. I keep putting it off. It's like, come on, you got to do it. You have to do it.
Right.
and
And I
and I
just
can't draw.
right, because I used to actually film my own stuff. So
Mhm.
before I didn't really like I used to do basic like shot lists, like just because I knew what I was looking for,
Right.
and I kind of like pre-trained myself to do like safe shots is what I call. So it's
Yeah.
like no matter what, you're always getting these shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. I know there's some directors out there who just don't do storyboards or shot lists. They just do it on the set. I'm like, I couldn't do that. That would be too much anxiety and stress on me. I couldn't handle that. No
Right.
way.
Right.
Cindy, I'm telling you right now, speaking with David, you are talking to the king of the shot list.
Oh,
He'll
good.
send
You're
me something.
hired.
Yeah, he'll send me something. I'll be like, we're shooting like this is like 10 minutes, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Well, there's like 175 shots. Like, what are we, what are we doing here? He is meticulous. I will say that about his shot list.
And Cindy, you know how it is. You'll come up with a bunch of stuff, and sometimes you'll throw it out when you're on set,
right.
because you'll see something that catches your eye, and you're like, well, I don't want that shot now because I got something better. You know how that
Right.
works.
Right. And like with I have an awesome cinematographer right now, Merciless Christmas. Shout out to Baramy. I mean, he's also my drone operator. He is phenomenal. He comes with from a background, a very extensive background of music videos.
Hmm.
So his eye is very different in terms of lighting and what he catches. And so with shot list, even though you have a shot list, yeah, I don't really think he's following it that much because a lot of times when we're on set, we just kind of do it,
Yeah.
we just kind of like he already knows like the basics, but I'm just like, yeah, but I want this and I want that, and then we just start inventing on set, and that's
Hmm.
kind of how it's been. It's been very fun.
But that works.
You and David are kindred spirits. Like I
We
remember
are.
we were shooting last year on a project, and I was like, "All right, I think I got the perfect shot for this." He's like, "No, here." And then like, "Well, wait, you just crossed out like six of them. You just hand wrote in like three more." He's like, "Yeah, this is where we're going now." So it's like
Because sometimes
I
it's
feel it.
as a filmmaker, right? You just get
Mhm.
inspired on set. Maybe
You
you might
do. Yeah.
just like, oh, it would be great to get this like worm's eye shot,
Mhm.
and it's just like
Yeah.
random.
Yeah. And sometimes you have two or three shots that can turn into just one because the one is so incredible. You go with it, right?
That's the take.
Yeah, that's the take. Let's
The
move
money
on. We
shot.
can skip over those 3. Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute, no, we don't. Go, move. Yep. I know how that works. But the whole process is very daunting. And how do you handle the stress and anxiety on set?
On set,
Yeah.
sometimes I get frustrated. So, well, on Merciless Christmas, I shouldn't be saying this because it's probably a little unprofessional, but I was very festive during the holidays.
Oh.
All right.
And I'm Latina, so I make coquito for my crew. I made sure like nobody was drinking on set, but like after set, we were like taking shots of
Nice.
stuff, and I've never really done this on set. This was actually the first time I did it, but it was because I've never shot like on Christmas. I mean, literally, we were like just like maybe 2 days from Christmas. So it was like, yeah, and everybody's going home with like liquor. I'm even paying some people in alcohol.
Nothing wrong with that if it works.
No.
Hey, I have a scene with 2 crackheads, real crackheads,
Real crack.
that I paid with cigarettes. I paid them with cigarettes, and
Oh
they
my
were
Oh my
gosh.
Lord.
they were great. But the thing called for it, and hey, oh, see, look, I shouldn't have said that.
Creep show's attacking you,
Let's
apparently.
take that out. Let's take that out. God, like, hey. No, but I got their written consents after when they were sober, like, days later. But it was a very odd, impromptu kind of thing. It was an impromptu call. They just happened to be around the area that we were shooting a drug dealing scene. And I'm like, hey,
That's very George Millerish of you. I think on Mad Max, he paid a couple bikers with cigarettes and beer. So
Mhm.
there you
You're-
go.
you're following the legends here.
Low budget films call for, desperate
true.
films call for desperate measures.
That's how independent filmmaking works sometimes. You got to make it work. And if it's giving cigarettes, it's giving food, whatever,
Right. It was the first time. This is Merciless Christmas is definitely a first time for a lot of things. So, but it's been so fun. We need a blooper reel. Oh my God, of what we shot so far. So many funny moments, so many like odd moments. One I can tell you that I thought was kind of funny. So one of my actors was on set, and we had a sponsor, and this actually helped save our shoot too, by the way, because we had 2 location sponsors that sponsored us, really good locations that were like thousands of dollars for free.
Ooh.
So we were able to set up shop in this one location where we did the precinct scene with Apache Ramos. and in this scene, everybody was moving everything around. There was like real folders there because it was like it was a real office of a management office.
Mhm.
They had all these files or whatever. We're taking pictures and moving them around or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what goes where. Like I start freaking out because I'm like, I wasn't keeping track because I'm thinking I'm doing the work, but then I turn around and I see like my camera guys putting up picture, and then I see somebody else taking something and moving. And I'm like, oh my God, but we got it. So my actor goes, Cindy, don't worry about it. I know where everything goes. And I'm like, okay, great. So when we're shooting and whatever, but see, that actor also had to leave set
Oh no.
a theater run, right? Because he was also an
Oh.
actor in a theatrical show later on that afternoon. So he left set. And I'm like, where's Keon? And he's gone. And I'm like, he's the one that said he knew where. But we tried our best. It was so funny, but it was just like, of course, the guy. It was always like one of those of course moments. Like we're shooting here, no one's coming. Right when we set up camera, we were ready to shoot. There's like,
Mhm.
I mean, floods of people, traffic. Then, oddly enough, like a police car. And then and like something transpired while we were shooting. And then we went this way. No one was coming from that direction. Now all of a sudden, all the traffic is coming from that way. It was
Of
just
course.
Murphy's Law was just following us to the max, and it was just a little bit frustrating at times, but whimsical at others.
It never fails, especially if you're doing like the guerrilla filmmaking. We did a project a couple of years ago, filming in a street in a neighborhood, and we had to keep stopping car. No matter what you did, or tried, something was interrupting the shot, and you had to keep waiting.
I know what you're talking. I remember what you're the gas station from hell.
Yes,
That's how I
the
remember
gas
that
station
that
from
shoot.
hell last year. Yes, it was aggravating, but you got to do what you got to deal with, right? That's
Hey,
how,
as long
that's
as
how
you
it
get the
works.
shot,
As long as you get the
that's what
shot,
works.
that's right. So, Cindy, when you take into account the filmmaking process as a whole, what is your favorite part?
the end.
Then
And when I mean the end is actually seeing it in the can, like actually having a finished product.
yeah.
I think that that is the best part of the film, is just actually being able to see, wow, all this like sweat and tears and some
Mhm.
cases blood too. You know, just seeing that, because you know, in the beginning as filmmakers or as creators, you get so stressed out, you know,
do.
wanting it to be a certain way, or worried that it may not, or you know, or Murphy's Law, like we was just speaking about, you know, there's so many factors that could come in and kind of ruin it to have made it to the end, because
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people, they get it started but they can't finish it for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's out of your hands. So
Yeah.
I would say that's the best part. That's the creme de la creme.
I would definitely have to agree with you on that one. There's that first day when you're shooting the film, there's so much to do, and you realize, oh my gosh, we've just started this film. All these shots we've got to do, which you love. Don't get me wrong. It's
Right.
fantastic. You love it, but you realize just how much you have ahead of you. But when you get to that end, you get to that final shot, and you realize it's the final shot and it's in the can. It's, man, what a relief.
Oh
I couldn't
yes,
agree more with you on that one.
so
Perfect.
satisfying.
It
It is.
is so satisfying. So satisfying. So, my last question basically is, what advice would you give someone who wants to make a film or wants to get into the filmmaking world?
If you want to get into the filmmaking world, just do it. Just get into it. Write your story. Write your story for yourself in the beginning. Don't worry about writing something that somebody's gonna like, or trying to keep up with the masses. Or I see, even though I'm not gonna knock them 100%, I'm just not a big fan of like fan films because of that, because
Mhm.
it's kind of limiting you to your own creativity, you know. And even though there's different reasons why someone may go that direction, you know, they want to pay homage to something, or they feel they could, you know, make a different story, and that's all good, but then you're um you're putting it in, and you're putting your creativity in someone else's, you know, corner that has already been made that. So go ahead, and you can be the next, you know, Terrifier, or the next, I mean, independent films can make it. Look at Jason Voorhees. I mean, Michael Myers, we
Mhm.
all started from somewhere,
Yep.
you know, and they're not, you know, there's horror films out there that really aren't all that good, but over time you have seen the progression of filmmakers, you
Mhm.
know, as their careers blossom, as they're able to get more money, as they're able to have more creative control, you'll see these films grow, and the same thing will happen for you. So don't stop.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
Get
Just do
it.
it. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Great
Yep.
advice. So let's look into the near future. Let's say we're past the successful runs of Sam's Web and Merciless Christmas. Any ideas? Anything that you're looking at next once these
Yes,
projects are finished?
absolutely. So Bloodstained Films already has, we're slated for the next 5 years. I have script.
Nice.
I am a filmmaker, honey. I have a lot of screenplays. Some that are in different stages. I'm not like they're all finished films just yet, but so we have a couple of projects that are slated throughout the next 5 years for Bloodstained Films. We have a lot of surprises in the future, but two projects that I can mention because they are going to be done this year. One of them is called New Year Nightmare. So this one is actually continuing on the holiday horror theme,
Mhm.
Nice.
a holiday that has not have, now that one doesn't have a lot of films.
No.
um
No.
and that one's about human trafficking, and it's a
Oh,
sci-fi thriller.
Ooh.
So there's
Well, you got
interesting.
me. I'm
Okay.
thinking.
if,
Okay.
Yeah.
hey, if you guys want to get down on it, I'm not shooting it till the summer, till after like Merciless Christmas has to be done, obviously, but
Yeah.
we're planning on working on that late summer.
Okay.
Already casted, already have my camera girl. So there's just like minor things we still have to get, you know, doing props and stuff like that, because there's a
Mhm.
lot going into it. But that's all I can say for right now. We
Okay.
do have a poster out on it so far, on Bloodstained Films, and it's actually I'm gonna be in the film. So
Oh,
Nice. All right.
nice.
I like to act, but I don't like the way I look on camera. So so
Oh,
you know, I'm a filmmaker. We like to be behind the scenes. We don't like to,
amen. Preach it.
Yeah.
Preach it.
but But that's the reason, that's one of my coming out the box. So I realized maybe all this time I'm not noticed is because I don't really put myself out there, my face, so I decided, let me try to take a different direction. And so I'm starting to cameo in my films, not really like super large roles. I would think New Year Nightmare is one of the bigger roles out of everything.
Yeah.
You have got a lot in store, it seems like, for all of us. Uh,
Sure.
we've been talking with Cindy Sanabria. We've been talking about XX, which is an incredible film. I think it's safe to say all three of us recommend this one.
Oh yeah.
I personally, I love the fact that it's on Hulu, so I have to access a horror film through Disney Plus, which just seems
And
just
XX
seems-
at that, really?
Yeah,
Search for
XX.
XX.
I'll do, yeah, listeners, search for XX on Disney Plus. That's how I got to it. But we want to know what you think of XX. You can let us know on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can check out www.afilmbypodcast.com. Our entire library is streaming there free. We're writing articles now. You can write to us at afilmbypodcast@gmail.com with your questions, comments, and concerns. And we may just read your response on the show and send you some of our A Film By swag. I know that's happened a couple times recently here, Dave.
Yep.
Cindy, it has been such a pleasure speaking
it
with
ever.
you.
For having me, guys.
We talked about so as far as like our listeners wanting to hear more from you, to see more from you, we talked about the www.bloodstainedfilms.com. What about social media? Are you out there? So can listeners connect with you?
Sir, we are. I'm on Horror Tour Guide. That's our main group. Horror Tour Guide. We're on. You could go to our website, horrortourguide.com. We share news there. We have updates there. I used to do a lot of horror hosting there, but since I'm concentrating on the filmmaking and we're just more like that's gonna transform into something different, news to follow. But Horror Tour Guide, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're there. Come visit us on Bloodstained Films. Right now, we just have our website. We do have our social medias, but we're like setting them in place. So we haven't like really, we haven't like launched that officially yet on, on social media. You could come to our Merciless Christmas group on Facebook and get updates. I post a lot of behind the scenes photos, updates on actors, everything related to Merciless Christmas. So come join us.
I can't wait to see that. I really can't. I'm excited.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking more about Merciless Christmas. Cindy,
Yep.
we would love to have you come back. And not just for Merciless Christmas. We'll any film you want to talk about, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
To chat with us. But I think I speak for Dave when I say we would love the opportunity to get you and Apache on the same episode and talk about Merciless Christmas and maybe someone else that you it would just be too much fun.
Yeah. It's a trip.
Yeah.
I love Apache. Oh, well, actually, Apache Ramos is a little like romantic. So when he gets on set, like any woman that's on set, they're melting in his hands. Oh, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Apache, you're working. Hello.
Well, you made him look so good in this trailer. I mean, we're used to like, the orphan Apache of us, and this guy, he's
in his suit,
yeah,
right?
He does.
He's got that $50 haircut. He's got this really great suit. You got him looking suave. So yeah.
We even made like little IDs. Like we really made like police IDs, and we got a real badge. He's like walking around with a real police badge. I was like, don't use that anywhere. No, but we have a police officer that's shout out to Patrick Haggerty. He's in the film as well, but he's also one of our consultants on set. So he's a real police officer, and he was able to come on set and give us the right way how the police jargon and all,
right.
like But Apache is he's very funny, and I just can't give away certain things. But stay tuned, because we're definitely gonna have a blooper reel.
Oh boy,
it's 100% hilarious. He's so fun to work with, but sometimes he's a little too fun to work with, and we're like, "Come on, Apache, let's go."
Oh yeah, I'm aware of that one with the podcast. Yes,
he's popular on set, so sometimes it has gotten distracting, but because you're just like, and he's like, what? But at the end of the day, like he's doing a great job, and I mean, I'm proud of like my whole cast and crew. Like so far, so good, and what's to come is like, whoa! It's like we did about 10 kills on this run, but we have so much more to go. Like it's gonna be
Excellent.
a gory, bloody goodness. Yeah.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. Well, thanks, listeners. We have been talking to Cindy Sanabria. I hope you have enjoyed what she has to talk about. Go visit her website at bloodstainedfilms.com. See what you can do to help her out so that she can continue to make her films. Thanks, everyone.